So this video is going to be incredibly boring because I really had nothing to talk about and there were no challenges. So I decided to do a video of book quotes because I am a boring person like that. Guess the books in the comments if you think you know them. And that's it. DFTBA. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal, thank you very much. One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. But now there was a long morning's walk until noon, and if the men were silent it was because there was everything to think about and much to remember. Perhaps later in the morning when the sun was up and had warmed them, they would begin to talk or just say things that they remembered to be sure that they were there, to be absolutely certain that things were safe in them. Montague felt the slow stir of words, the slow simmer, and when it came his turn, what could he say? What could he offer on a day like this to make the trip a little easier? To everything there's a season, yes, a time to break down and a time to build up. Yes, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Yes, all that, but what else? What else? Something, something. But she could love Charles Wallace. She could stand there and she could love Charles Wallace. Her own Charles Wallace, the real Charles Wallace. The child for whom she had come back to Kamsat. To it, the child who was so much more than she was, and who was yet so utterly vulnerable. If you shut your eyes and are a lucky one, you may see at times a shapeless pool of lovely pale colors suspended in the darkness. Then, if you squeeze your eyes tighter, the pool begins to take shape, and the colors become so vivid that with another squeeze they must go on fire. But just before they go on fire, you see the lagoon. This is the nearest you will ever get to it on the mainland, just one heavenly moment. If there could be 2 moments, you might see the surf and hear the mermaids singing. She loves you, the prince cried. She loves you still, and you love her, so think of that. Think of this, too. In this world you might have been happy, genuinely happy. Not one couple in a century has that chance, not really, no matter what the storybooks say. But you could have had it, and so, I would think, no one will ever suffer a loss as great as you. And with that he grabbed the dial and pushed it all the way forward, and the count cried, not to 20, but by then it was too late, the death scream had started. Wrong, Wesley's voice rang across the room. Your ears you keep, so that every shriek of every child that seeing your hideousness will be yours to cherish. Every babe that weeps in fear at your approach, every woman that cries, Dear God, what is that thing, will reverberate forever in your perfect ears. That is what to the pain means. It means that I leave you to live in anguish, in humiliation, in freakish misery, until you can stand it no more. So there you have, pig, there you know, you miserable vomitous mass. And I say this now, and live or die, it's up to you. Drop your sword. How do I know you'll keep your word? Asked Coraline. I swear it, said the other mother. I swear it on my own mother's grave. Does she have a grave? Asked Coraline. Oh, yes, said the other mother. I put her in there myself, and when I find her trying to crawl out, I put her back. And where better could she learn that trade than in a house full of magical creatures, where fairies built their nests in the garden and books whispered on the shelves by night? As Mo had said, writing stories is a kind of magic, too. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it was so very much out of the way to hear that rabbit say to itself, oh dear, I shall be too late. When she thought it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she got up wondered at this, but at the time it seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket and looked at it, and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it, and burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and was just in time to see it pop under a large rabbit hole under the hedge.